In this video, we're taking a tour of my Inktober 2023 sketchbook. Day 1 was Dream. I've never completed Inktober before, so I thought, you know what, completing it this year might just be a pipe dream. And so therefore I decided, you know what, let's just make a little dream bubble here and put in different kind of pipes. I think the bubble pipe is my favorite. Day 2 was Spider. So we did this little spider in her web. And after day 2, I started to feel like it really was going to be a pipe dream. But another artist friend here on YouTube encouraged me to just dive in, catch up, keep going, jump in, wherever, and just continue to give this a try. So I thought, you know what, fine. How about if I combine the days I've missed and try to catch up that way? So I combined day 3, which was Path, and here was my path, a little wilderness trail. Picturing the great north woods of Maine, you see up here, and then Dodge, an old Dodge truck traveling down the old dirt roads, and the map. Of course, he's driving right into the map, which also brings us to day 6, because on this map, he's traveling on the Golden Road. And if you're not from Maine, the Golden Road it takes you up north, and it's just dirt roads wherever you go. Things aren't clearly marked. I would recommend knowing where you're going before you head up there. Cell service is sketchy. And yeah, somewhere up there, it actually take you right into Canada. So we've actually traveled the Golden Road before, and we've seen moose and all kinds of wildlife. It's really beautiful, but yeah, definitely somewhere you want to know where you're going. So I combined those 4 days into one spread, and that got me caught up. And that brought me to day 7, which was Drip. And I have a philodendron that every time I water it, it seems like I've overwatered it, and it'll get little drips on the points of the leaves. And I just thought, there you go. There's Drip. So my day 7. Day 8, I just did a quick sketch. Some of these I did not have a lot of time, but I was determined to keep going. So for day 8, we did a toad, and I actually happened to watch The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and then Ichabod and Toad on Disney. And that kind of inspired me to do a little toad, dressed up like a man. And day 8 was Bounce. And the first thing I thought of was those old paddle balls. And how many times did you hit that ball till you couldn't hit the ball anymore because the string broke and your ball went flying? Who knows if you could find it again after that. So day 9 was Bounce. I did quite a few pages where I did multiples on, one page. So day 10 was Fortune, and I just pictured this old leather sack, and I'd been catching up on The Witcher. And that's what it made me think of, right? Throw a coin to your Witcher. And I used the metallic pens on that, and I just loved the shimmer that I got out of that. So that was day 10. Day 11 was Wander, and I was just thinking of, a hobo wandering, jumping trains and stuff like that, and his little food sack or whatever he keeps in here tied to a string. Wander for day 11. And Spicy, I love wasabi and soy sauce with sushi, and it is definitely spicy, so I did that. A little tube of wasabi. And then this was one of my favorites, day 13, which was Rise. And that, I actually animated these little bats when I shared this on Instagram. So if you followed me on Instagram, I've been posting these all month. So you may have seen them over there or on my Facebook page or MeWe page. And yeah, if you haven't already followed me in any of those locations, the links are in the description below. So day 14 was Castle, and I just thought about Rapunzel and in the tower of, locked away in the tower of the castle there. So I did, her big long braid hanging down. And day 14, that was my castle. Day 15 was Dagger, And so I was thinking like pirates and carrying their like a dagger on their waist there. So that was that one. And then again, I did with the metallics. So that blade had quite a bit of shimmer to it. Now, day 16 and 17, when I saw the prompts back to back, I immediately just thought like a little angel on one shoulder, a little, little demon on the other shoulder, like kind of pulling you in two different directions. So I did that, and I had to laugh because my dad saw it and he's like, looks like the head's tilted to the right. So I guess we know which one you like to listen to. And I thought that was funny, but this was done. I just did a wet wash on the page for the outline of like a man. And then I just took my ink dropper. I actually used the Dale Rowney FW, used this one. And I just took the ink dropper and when it was all wet, and I put in like the 2 drops, and I knew that wasn't going to reach the edge. So I put 2 more to the side, and I put 1 in the head. And I just wanted to see how it would spread in that wet wash. And it ended up like, it almost looked like muscular structure to me. And I just thought, you know what, I'm leaving it exactly the way it was. So there's my little angel and my little demon. It was a quick one, but I liked the way that one came out. And then another one of my favorites was day 18, and that was saddle. And I wasn't going to do a horse because I thought that would be most likely would not end well if I did a horse. So instead, I did a seahorse. And I found a reference on Unsplash of this seahorse, and I loved the way it looked. It just reminded me of something from the old Saturday morning cartoons, the Snorks that used to be on. And I'm probably aging myself, but if any of you guys grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons and you remember what I'm talking about, I could just see All Star like on this seahorse, like getting ready to run a race or something. So yeah, saddle for my seahorse. And then day 19 was plump, and that was the first thing that came to mind, was plumping up some pillows. So I did a couple pillows there. Day 20 was frost, and we've actually got it now. Some mornings you wake up and there's frost all over the windows. There's frost all over everything outside. Although it snowed the other day, so we got like probably about 3 inches of snow. It's almost all gone now, but it was nice to watch it come down. So day 21 was chains. When I saw this prompt, I just loved it. And look, the chains also I used a lot of metallics in quite a bit. I used the Wink of Stella to let me grab one. It's right here. They're made by Zig Kuretake, and it is the Wink of Stella Brush 2. And I have these, the set that I have is silver, gold, and there's like a clear, just a shimmer. I use this quite a bit this month, and I discovered that I love them. So there was day 21, and that was chains. And I pictured, as soon as I saw chains, I just pictured Jacob Marley in like A Christmas Carol when he comes to Scrooge and he says, I wear the chain I forged in life. And I just thought, you know what, if us artists, if we were misers of art supplies, our chains would be like, pulling us down with sketchbooks and all the art supplies we haven't used. And so that's kind of where I went with that. So if Jacob, his chains, if Jacob were a miser of art supplies, would look a little something like that. And that was day 21. Day 22 was scratch, and I was just picturing a cat like destroying the woodwork in a home. I would be heartbroken. But I wouldn't have a cat, so cats and I'm allergic, so we would not have to worry about that. But dogs could do it too, and I would get a dog, so even still, it would just break my heart to see it just destroy the woodwork, especially having a house built in 1900. That would not make me happy. But that's what came to mind for scratch, and I absolutely discovered that this month, especially like I used them here too, I had used some ink tints, and usually in most of my posts, I listed what I used, or I even included a picture of it. But I discovered through this month that there are some markers that I have that I actually really enjoyed using. And I didn't think I was going to. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed them. In fact, I enjoyed them so much. I had just a small set. I ordered a larger set. And I'm going to pass my smaller set on to somebody else who will enjoy them. I am so happy that I did Inktober this month because it definitely it helped me use some supplies I haven't used before that have been sitting there just, taunting me to use them, and took me out of my comfort zone a little bit, brought me back to some sketching that I haven't done obviously in a long time. Some of these are a little, but I enjoyed it. And no regrets for doing it. So Inktober day 23 was celestial, and I just pictured, this obviously celestial, looking up at the stars. So I just did like Milky Way, a galaxy, just a star, just a sky, random, just looking up. And you're going to have, we're going to come to another similar one near the end of the month, but then we had this guy, and this one cracked me up because I remember telling Lou, I was like, I think the 8-year-old artist in me just came out, and I saw shallow, and I was like, well, if a brontosaurus was walking through the water, it would seem pretty shallow. And so that's what I drew. But of course, we're not going to get reference photos on Unsplash and Pixabay of brontosauruses in the wild. So, I just winged it, threw it up there. This was one that was like near the end of the day. I was very tired, and I was like, I'm just getting it done with and not going to lose my pace. And I just want to keep going. And so I did this one. So it's not one of my favorites, but it's there, and it was done. But the next day was day 25, and it was dangerous. And I thought, Let's Stick a Dynamite can be dangerous. And that one again, I used my Wink of Stella 2 pens, and look at the sparkle. I was like, it just looked like, when it turns, see that? It just looks like that fuse is lit. And those are, it's got a brush tip. I absolutely love these. I definitely recommend them. I will link them below. I was also very pleasantly surprised with this sketchbook. Some of the pages got a little wonky because I had more water put in there. It was watercolor paper. It's the Strathmore Visual Journal, as you saw in the beginning. And I actually like it. I think I'm going to be using these more. And so then day 26 was remove. And I thought, I have used erasers all month long to remove all the mistakes. So I just grabbed 2 of my erasers and sketched them out. The Derwent white plastic and the Tombow Mono, the black plastic eraser. I like them both. And so there we had remove, day 26. And day 27 is my absolute favorite. And that was Beast. And I just need to zoom out there for you guys for a moment. So that was Beast. And I was using the Dr. P.H. Martin's Hydrus for that. And I thought, what am I going to do for Beast? I wanted to use the Hydrus colors. I knew that. And I thought, I'm going to use the Hydrus colors. And then Hydra just came into my head. So I did some quick Google searching on, how many heads does a Hydra have? And numbers reportedly vary. But what I saw from Britannica said that the mythology says 9. So I did 9 on my Hydra. And then old Heracles down here, like trying to put an end to the Hydra, and somebody should whisper and let him know if he cuts off one of those heads, 2 more are coming back in its place. But I this was definitely one of my favorites. I loved the sky. I loved the way that the colors finished. I started this on a live stream, and when the live stream was over, the water was much lighter than this. The hydro was definitely much lighter than this. I was not happy with it. I knew that I wanted to fix some things. So I went ahead and I did record it. So I may have a video where it's just going to be, real quick, like start to finish, how this one developed. And yeah, so watch for that to come soon. I'm going to try to work on putting that together. But this was a fun one. It was my absolute favorite. And that was day 27, Beast. And then my last spread covered the last 4 days. And we started with Sparkle. And I thought, what would sparkle more than pixie dust? So again, you see all the sparkly shimmer there. I loved those brushes, the brush pens. Those were fantastic. Again, I'm going to link them in the description below. The shimmer that you get from them is just amazing. And I used some gold pens and a little bit of silver. And then I used the 3 Wink of Stella to really enhance the sparkle that I got from that. And then again, like I had said, we were going to have another kind of repeat, but different. So day 29 was massive, and I struggled with this one. And then I was talking to a family member, and they were like, well, do a black hole, or do like something with space, because that's massive. And I thought, yeah, space is massive. So I went on Unsplash and typed in galaxy, and I got a reference photo that was very similar to this of an image of a galaxy. And so that's what I did for massive, was a galaxy. Then we had day 30, which was rush. And I figured we'll do water rushing over the edge of a cliff coming down the waterfall. It definitely is going to rush to the bottom. So that was my day 30. And again, I just used my like an old cut up card to kind of pull all the, the wet ink and stuff when it was on there. And kind of pull that and get the marks and just let it create the rocky cliffs on its own. And then finally, day 31 was fire. And again, if I can get it, there it goes. Get that sparkle, that shimmer. I just thought, like the sparks that you see coming up when you have a fire, and it crackling, and that's what I wanted to try to capture with that one. So day 31 was fire. And that was my 31 days of Inktober. I'm really happy that I did it. It was definitely a challenge. But I'm glad, again, that one was my favorite for the month. What was your favorite? After you've seen those, drop me a comment below and let me know which one did you enjoy, or which ones did you like the most. I'm really curious, because I definitely have, like I said, my favorites. I liked Rise, the one for that day with the cemetery. I liked this one. I loved the seahorse. I really kind of liked the sparkle and shimmer that I got to the fire for yesterday's prompt. But there you have it. That is my Inktober 2023. It is in the books. I am very thrilled that I did it. Will I do it again? I don't know, but I am happy I did, because I learned a lot. I actually picked up a pencil and started sketching again on a daily basis. And that's something that I want to, even maybe not every single day, but I definitely want to get back to working in a sketchbook a lot more often. So that is one of my goals that has come out of doing this challenge. And I think it was a great achievement. If you've never attempted it, I definitely encourage you to do so. It will only help you improve. And you might discover, like I did, some new art supplies, or art supplies that you have that maybe you haven't used that much yet, but you actually really enjoy. So definitely encourage you, give it a try next year. And I'm considering doing it again. I think next year my goal is to do World Watercolor Month in July. So I don't know, we'll see, but definitely going to take on some more challenges. And I'm going to pop another video up that you might like to watch next, right about here. And I will see you in a video real soon. Keep creating, my friends. Have a great rest of your day.